Welcome back to Coin Sense and Nonsense. Today, we've got 8 ounces of Great Lakes mint goodness to place into our Silver Ingot album from Whitman. So, I had originally bought this book with the intention of dedicating it to Great Lakes mint. They don't fit into capsules. The bars are too long. And so I saved some space. I have a special collection from Great Lakes Mint that I'm working on. And I did have some other troublemaker bars that wouldn't fit in capsules, and somehow they made their way into the Whitman book. So the problem I have is the set of bars from Great Lakes Mint that I'm collecting is 15 bars. I don't have that many squares left open. So, you know what's going to happen. I had to get a second one. So, I'm going to shuffle some things around. Whatever was on the back page in this one is going to go into this one. Got some bars moved over now, more space to grow. So, Zeppelins, I'm interested in collecting more. Might move my other Zeppelin bars over so they're all on the same page. Got my Justice Department there in the corner and a bison from Hamilton Mint. So this can be kind of like the animal page. And then I've got Patrick Mint on the back page. So plenty of room to expand. I've noticed this particular album is a little bit tighter and seems less well-made than this first one that I got. So different generation of production apparently. So I got to really be careful with the binder on this one. So before we place our bars in the book, let's talk about this book. This is a good book, but also a bit of a troublemaker. So I've loved being able to look up various things that I've picked up, and it's kind of helped me know like what's in each set or collection or whatever. Here's Great Lakes Mint, and I love their design, and that's kind of what drew me in. I got the Labor Day bar and the Happy Birthday bar, and yeah, I was captivated by the design. So in looking things up, of course, I came across these. And so I'm really into hockey. These are for the World Hockey Association, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what really caught my eye is the low mintage, 300. And so I'm always up for a challenge. So I decided to start collecting those World Hockey Association bars. So that's what I've been working on, kind of on the down low, because they're hard to come by and don't need the competition. So let's start placing. Actually, the first bar that I showed off on top of the pile is the commercial bar. So let me get set up properly. We'll talk about that. So it's Great Lakes 1, GLM1 commercial bar, made in 1973, type 4H reverse. There are no varieties of that one. 8,000 minted, so plenty out there. Rarity value 2. And if you've watched any of my other videos, or I encourage you to watch some of my other videos where we talk about the rarity value, even though I've got an open slot there for this one. Kind of want to put it there, so I'm going to have everyone shove a bun. And now I can place that one. Actually, we didn't really even take a good look at it. So, yeah, this is just kind of basic. And the 4H reverse is just plain. Still a great bar to have, and it kind of kicks off the series, or kicks off the collection of Great Lakes Mint anyway. So that completes the top page, and got a couple here with the backs showing. If you didn't see my other video where I talked about these are like vertically shaped or designed bars, and Got kind of a rule for this book. At least one side has to be landscape for it to work for me. I don't really want to be looking sideways at things. So before we get into the bars, again for the review, each of them has 300 minted except for the Toronto Toros. There's 2,000. And then the set continues on the next page. And there's 1,500 each of Minnesota and Houston. And all the others have 300. You'll notice the rarity value is the same no matter which bar, $48. And these are very hard to come by. I haven't really seen them out in the wild. So I'm going to show them in the order that they appear here. They're not necessarily in the order that they were released. You can see, actually, I think the very first one was the Los Angeles, and that's 1973. And that's the very last one that they have. All right, let's get into these here. So Cleveland Crusaders is the first one up for me. This one, supposedly a mintage of 300, according to the good book. So each bar has the team logo on one side, and then the World Hockey Association kind of logo on the reverse. 999 fine, 1 troy ounce. And you'll notice there's a little bit of bowing there. It's because they stamped the serial number right into the side of the bar. And I don't like that. It seems like it damages the bar. So serial number 871. I don't know how that's possible when the mintage is supposed to only be 300. So if anyone out there knows anything about the way these were numbered, if they started with, they didn't start with 1, I don't know. Anyway, or there's more than 300. Whatever the case, these are awesome, and get that in the book. So the WHA was kind of a challenge, like I was starting to say, to the NHL, and this team actually caused quite a stir. They ended up with Wayne Gretzky in a draft, and he was kind of taken away from the NHL. And some other players defected or kind of went over to the WHA. Gordie Howe and Bobby Hull actually were two famous people that, or players that went over and played in the WHA while it lasted. The WHA was in existence from 1974 to 1978-ish. And 4 teams from the WHA made it into the NHL. So we'll talk about that when they come up. But anyway, this is the Wayne Gretzky team. And happy to have that one. Next up. Oh, and actually that's also a 300 minted. Next up, Michigan Stags. And this one's definitely worse for wear. Been polished, rubbed, whatever. Did I show the serial number on this other one? No, I didn't. 477 out of 300. Okay, Michigan Stags. Number, what is that, 971? 973? Anyway, more than 300. But, happy to have it. So no famous players that I know from Michigan. Next up, Winnipeg Jets. So this is one of the 4 teams that made it into the NHL when they merged in like 1979, I believe. So yeah, Winnipeg Jets. There were a couple of famous players that played for Winnipeg. Ulf Nilsson is one that I have in my notes. So another one with 300 minted and 477. But yeah, this one's cool. A little bit of toning on this side. Next up is the Houston Aeros. And this is a cool design. This team was notable for having the Howe family. Gordie Howe and his son Mark played for the Houston Aeros. This one had 1,500 minted, and I believe that's 872 is the serial number. So, beautiful bar. Happy to have it. Next up, the Phoenix Roadrunners. And this one, it almost looks like a woodpecker, but it's a Roadrunner. So Robbie Ftorek played on this team. If you're a Kings fan at all, a Los Angeles Kings fan, Robbie Ftorek ended up being the coach of the Los Angeles Kings. So this one is, looks like 872. 872 out of 300. So, another weird situation. So that's 6 bars. Oh, we've got a 7th, and this is a duplicate, actually. This is the Houston Aeros super toned up. See if we can show off the awesome toning here. Very, very striking in the right light. So, I have a duplicate, but it was intentional. I couldn't pass this one up. And happy to have it. I'll use the order that these appear in the book to place them for now. And then when I get the other bars, or some other bars that might go in between, we'll jockey around at that point. The top section, and for the bottom section we've got Houston, and then of course I'll put my duplicate in here, and Phoenix. So I'm off to a good start. I've got 6 teams, 7 bars, and a total of 13 Great Lakes Mint bars in this book. And then we've got 8 ounces, I believe, in this other book. A couple of Zeppelins, a Justice Mint, and a couple of Patrick Mint. Oh, and our Hamilton Mint. So, I thank you so much for watching Quite Sense and Nonsense. And until next time, bye. Bye.